Inforce has been a pioneer in developing a light system for your weapon that is not metal. The fiber composite bodies that they've developed have really been revolutionary to the weapon light systems. And one of the big reasons that it's been so difficult is because of the heat generated from your LED. They can get really hot, and they usually use cooling fins or channels to keep it cool. And so there's been a lot of work going into developing something that will stay cool and yet stay super lightweight. A while back I did a review on these weapons lights, the WML and the WMLX from Inforce. These are really big with Travis Haley. He loves these lights, and really one of the things that really got me started with Inforce. I've really been wanting to try these out, and they are exceptional. They're very sleek, trim, and they're very low to the rifle. Of course, you have your Picatinny rail system, and this can fit on even key mods or your M-LOK type systems once you attach your Picatinny. Stays low to the rail. But they also have their APL, which is their auto pistol light. Now, because of its somewhat blocky appearance, a lot of people feel that these are wide. But in all actuality, they're actually much thinner and shorter than many of the Streamlights or the Surefire systems. In fact, I don't have one right here with me, but I'm getting ready to review one of the Streamlight TLRs. When I do, we're going to compare these together. But I've seen a number of these compared to those, and they're thinner. The body of the TLR actually comes out just a little bit. It's more rounded off, and typically they're a little bit longer. So these are very compact systems, and with the composite body, it makes it a really lightweight system. The APL is 3 inches in length, and the width is just a little under 1 1/4 inches. As far as the bulk of the light itself, one of the things that you can notice is looking from the top, you can't even tell there's a light on here, except for a little bit of the bezel showing here. And the P30 is a smaller pistol. A lot of your G17, your Glock 17, or some of the larger full frame pistols are actually going to extend out. But you can see that right here, and this is where it really counts, it's really thin. Same thing on this 1911, really thin, comes out just a touch. Of course, that fits to the Picatinny rail. While the Inforce APL weighs just 2.83 ounces without the battery, your TLR1 is 4.18 ounces, and then it also uses 2 CR123s, whereas you have 1 CR123 here. So you're getting a lot less weight with these flashlights. It is thinner and trim. Nothing wrong with the Streamlight or the Surefire systems. They're very good. One of the things that the Inforce does, it puts out a 200 lumen light. It runs for 1.5 hours, whereas a lot of your TLRs run 2.5 hours. And the lumens can be a lot greater. I think with the standard TLR, it's a 300 lumens, and then with the HL, it actually runs up to 600 lumens. One of the things though that's, and it's part of the doctrine of lights and about lumens, especially in a defensive situation, is if you get too much light out there, it'll actually blind you. This light bright will take away a lot of your night vision once it's cut off. So it is something to consider, but it's something that we'll look at later when we do compare these to one of the TLRs. But one of the big things about the light is how it functions. And you see here these two little wings right here. These are paddles. And when you hit this paddle, and it is, as you see, ambidextrous, as you hit the paddle, if you press and hold, it's momentary. If you press it quickly, it's constant on. So it gives you really a very simple system to be able to follow on how to work these. And here, as you can see, even with my trigger finger, if I want to hold it on constant on, I can. If I want to have it here, I can bring it down. With a two-handed grip, my thumb actuates it quickly, or I can hold it down and release. So it gives you a lot of options. One of the things you don't want is to have a bright light shining if someone's firing at you. And all you have to do is to tap it no matter what mode you're in. It will cut off. So hold down. You're looking over the situation, you can release, and then you're back with no light. If you really want that light on, just click it and you've got it. And you can see the brightness. I mean, that's pretty flippin' bright. One of the things too, it gives you a good hot spot, but it also gives you a good field around, or a periphery, or a flood, as we like to call it with most of your flashlights. That way you can see the area around. I know a lot of lights, a lot of times it has a really bright spotlight in one area. If anything is outside of that area, you're completely blind to it. And that's one of the dangers, especially in a situation where you're having to use a weapons light. Now it has a section here that'll correspond with your Picatinny rail, and all you do is unscrew right here, and this will just open up your rail section. This will allow you to attach it. You don't have to take it all the way off, but one of the things you're going to notice is this little metal piece right here. This is an adapter, and this can be removed. In fact, most of the pistols that I have required that I remove that to fit this to the weapon. And then here you lock down. Now right here in this back area is another rail section, and this is your spare. So if you ever lose one, you have another one in spare right back here, and it just fits in this little compartment. And I thought that was a pretty cool system. Of course, everything is very well done on this little light system. Here on the Glock 19, you have your rail section right here. Just correspond it with the bar that's on the light, and then just tighten it down. Here you have it in place. Tap, constant on, hold down, momentary. It does protrude a little bit out of the front. On the Model 17 Glock, on the full size, the barrel comes out to the end. And of course, there are a lot of different holsters and systems that you can use with this. One of the things though, that on the early version, they had a quick detach system here. It was a lever, you pull it down, you pull it off, you put it back on. I'm not really sure why they went to this. Maybe they were having some issues with the lever itself. But the current models right now, and that's of 2015, and this is March, it does have the screw here. But the light is nice and bright, and it's going to show up your target well. Here on the HK P30, fits. One of the things that it will not fit though is the USP, and of course that's a proprietary rail that H&K put on those pistols. Thankfully H&K with the P30 and with the VP9 have gone with more of a traditional rail system where you can attach more types of optics. I believe the Beretta Storm is another one, according to the website, that this will not fit to. So any other pistol that has your Picatinny rail system or an accessory rail, the Inforce APL should fit. Now here on this Rock Island Armory 22 TCM, the rail system has 3 slots. So I'm really able to get this, even though this is a commander length slide, I'm able to get the light to the middle section. If you get it too far, it's going to butt up. But this really, as you can see, your trigger finger naturally will hit that spot. My fingers are not that large. I have about medium-sized hands. So where I have trigger finger here, I can bring it out, I can check. Definitely with my two-handed grip, my thumb hits it very naturally. Here to take it off, it's a large screw, so it's going to be very easy to get a hold of. Pop it right off. Here you can see the 3 rail system. And most of your semi-automatic handguns are coming with just one section. That's to keep it low and keep it down. But with a lot of your 1911s, they are having the multiple Picatinny rail section. This gives you a lot of adjustment, especially with your larger pistols. To get to the battery, just untwist the bezel. Of course, it is black. And once you do, it'll reveal a CR123 lithium-ion battery. These are very efficient batteries. They give you really bright light. It's what really enables you to get that brightness. It does go in with the positive side in first, which is a little bit different. And right here you can see there's a big plus, so you won't forget. Goes down in, and of course you have the negative post here. One of the things you'll want to do is make sure there's a little bit of silicone here just to keep things fresh and to keep your threads protected, and it'll also help with water getting in. These are waterproof, so you're going to be able to use this in adverse conditions, which makes it nice. One of the cool features about the way the battery goes in through the front is if the light does go out because of the battery, or your battery runs down, all you got to do, you don't have to dismount the light from the handgun. You can just bring this out, change your battery, and you're back in action. That is a much quicker way than trying to dismount and then add the battery. Here you can see the Cree LED, and it has a nice smooth reflector. This is a mineral glass lens, and it has an anti-reflective coating on it. Inforce offers these in the flat dark earth and in the graphite version. And so you have two different choices. Of course, the graphite will match closer to most of your black guns. Of course, but with all the different polymer lowers and a lot of the different colors that have come out with flat dark earth, this makes a nice match. With any light system, you need to practice. As much as this is intuitive, it's really smart to kind of go through this, know that when you hit it just really quickly that it's going to be constant on, holding it down, that's going to give you momentary. And so training like that is important, because in a stressful situation, muscle memory can take over if you've trained enough. Now guys, I'm real concerned about safety, but before all you safety Sallies start freaking out, I typically shoot obviously with glasses, but in the humidity down last night, the goggles just fogged up so bad I couldn't see, thus creating another safety issue. So that's the reason for no glass, no eye protection. Guys, light is still your #1 security tool, even when mounted on a weapon. You're going to use that light way more than you're going to use that trigger finger. One thing though to always consider, if this is a non-lethal type situation, you really need to have a pocket flashlight to be pointing it, unless you know you're in imminent danger, because you don't want to be pointing a gun at innocent objects. And with it on the end of this light, that's what you're doing. So be careful out there with your weapons lights. Now the price on the Inforce APL, they typically run around the $125 to $135 range, according to where you find them. A lot of different sources. You can go to the Inforce-mil.com website to look at all the specs and all the different products that Inforce does. They do a lot of stuff for the military, so it has a high reputation for quality. These do kind of compare to the TLR series by Streamlight, and we're going to be looking at one of the TLR ones coming up pretty soon, and then we'll compare it with the Inforce. But I think for the weight and the money, the Inforce APL light is just fantastic. Definitely something to look into. The Inforce APL, thumbs way up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Here on this Rock On Armory 22 TCM 1911, the Picatinny rail sections. Okay. Now here on this Rock Island Armory TC22. Okay. Again, to take it off, it's really, oops. Again, to take it off isn't, shoot. Ah. It's just about 1.5 inches in long. With any light system, you need to. Now, with any light system, you need to practice. America, yeah.